Hey folks, Paul Meixner here with Thunderpunk Radio and Drake and Training Division, and I'm here talking with
Corey Boudreaux, Smith and Wesson.
So I'm super excited. I have always respected Smith and Wesson, legendary revolver line, and your pistols have always been cool. I'm not a double action guy, and I'm not a slide mounted safety guy. And so you've had legendary law enforcement, reliability, metal frame pistols, and then was the SDV line with polymer, the one before that, or
so the SD line was like the intro to
Gotcha, and those were decent. And then the M&P line came out and made a lot of changes, were very popular, but I fell in love with the M&P 2.0 line. I bought a family member his first pistol, and he really liked the M&P 2.0 5-inch, and we went to the range, and I loved it so much that I bought it, and that's now my duty weapon that I use for work and for teaching. Well, I use a lot of stuff for teaching, but that's my main gun that I use for teaching pistol level 1 classes, pistol level 2, our tactical classes. I just love the grip angle, the texture, and for a stock trigger, and that's not even the newer triggers you're coming out with. So the M&P 2.0 5-inch, the flat dark earth, the stock trigger is the best stock trigger I've tried so far up until these guys on a striker fired gun. And so I was just hoping to talk to you, and I know I'm gushing, but I really like the evolution of your pistols.
I'm also like the Hair Club for Men. I'm not just a president. I'm also a collector. Right. I'm also a huge fangirl of our products. So
and we talked about being H&K guys. And so if you're a USP guy, and we're both USP guys, that's a high bar. You know what I mean to meet. So let's talk about this.
Yeah. So we started the big changes, right?
Right.
With the 10 millimeter. So every single internet commando warrior, every time we put any gun out, they're like, when are you coming out with a 10 mil? So
I'm the same.
It had been secretly happening behind the scenes, and we'd all been laughing about it because it was you could drop anything, and it's like, oh, that'd be cool if it was a 10 mil. It's yes, we know. 10 millimeters is a great round. We had it in our third gen when we were working with the FBI.
I was gonna say you were one of the first companies to come out with a 10 millimeter semi-automatic pistol,
and it was a phenomenal pistol. One of my old employees actually has one of the FBI guns.
Have you fired it?
It has such a loud bark to it.
Yeah.
But the recoil is so low.
Because it was you guys, and then the Bren 10, and then Colt Delta Elite. And I think that was it.
That was
for
pretty
a
much
long
it
time.
for a long time.
Yeah. All right.
So taming that 10 millimeter recoil in a polymer platform, this gun is fantastic. Other polymer platforms, I wouldn't want to shoot all day long. We brought this out to a media event out in Idaho.
Okay.
We were shooting there was a giant, not a small steel target. It was a size of maybe a piece of plywood, right?
Okay.
So we were hitting it at 230, 240 yards. And
I believe you, because me and my buddy Phil, shout out to my TAC P buddy Phil, after class, we usually try to hit the 150 meter target with he's got a Glock, I'm running a 5-inch M&P, and I'm hitting it 4 out of 5 times.
We were
every
holding
time.
I want to say 15 feet high and 12 feet to the right. It was crazy holes and stuff. But the thing can deliver.
Oh yeah.
But we shot it all day long, no problem. The recoil wasn't bad. It was actually a very well designed firearm. But some of the changes we did with the 10 millimeter was instead of doing the performance center was always the upgraded stuff. Mm-hmm. We kind of evolved and realized that now people put optics on everything. So the 10 millimeter came standard with optics ready.
Yes.
We added the forward serrations, and then we'd been playing around with changing the trigger geometry ever since we did the Shield Plus. Everyone loved this flat trigger geometry, so we brought it into the M&P line, and then we slowly started to migrate it into the 9s. So now you can see over here, you were talking about doing tactical, the 9 with the threaded barrel.
I love the handling that you're not trying to flag yourself. Even though there's no firing pins in any of these, but still, you always shoot a weapon like it's loaded.
Exactly.
Rule number 1.
Again, that new flat trigger, the optics ready.
Because I have to send mine out to get milled, which is fine, and I'm putting an Apex flat trigger in it, which is totally fine. But you don't have to do that anymore.
No, this is a very sweet shooting 9 millimeter, and again, running it suppressed with our Lunar 9, our Gemtech Lunar 9 suppressor, which has got the 2 configurations, the short and the long. Mm-hmm. This thing is an absolute just silent beast.
All right, I'm gonna pull the trigger. Is that all right?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna pull the trigger here. Here, hold on to this for a second. So my shield is an old school shield, and it has that false reset, so I gotta put a new trigger in that too. But it's fine. It's totally workable. I really it's a tool and it works really well. But these new triggers, man.
So you said your old shield?
My old shield.
Okay, so we're gonna have to upgrade you into our new line of the Shield Plus. So we had launched the Shield Plus, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this is now our Shield Plus in Super Carry, which is Federal's new. It's like a 30 caliber round.
Okay,
It packs like a
just came out,
380,
right?
but still has the 9mm ballistics.
Which
So
I got a couple 380s. I usually carry 9mm. I used to be 45 guy back in the day.
But if you notice this magazine,
Oh, goodness.
you're packing 15 rounds, 15 plus 1. You're almost at a full size capacity here.
And it's all about shot placement. So if you have an in between, well, what's the like FPS compared to a 9mm?
It's about the same. It's like 1100. It's about 1,000 feet per second, I believe.
That's awesome.
I mean, it depends on bullet grain and all that, but it's supposedly flatter shooting than a 9 as well. Recoil wise, it feels pretty much the same.
No false reset. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, a kind of a silent change. Again, we're always taking consumer feedback. HoloSun's 507K is like the hottest micro red dot. It didn't fit our original Shield Plus.
Okay.
It does now fit on the Shield Plus 30 Super Carry.
Awesome.
So there's no I've modified my Shield Plus to fit a 507K. I sat there with a diamond tip file, like had to drop down the back posts. They're now standard, so you can run a 507K.
Now I'm noticing, so I really love the aggressive grip texture on your duty size MP 2.0s.
Yep.
It's a bit much for concealed carry.
Correct.
So I'm a big dude from the Midwest. You know, I get hot easy. I don't normally wear an undershirt.
Yep.
So that can, be a little abrasive. This is not, it's still grippy, but it's not as
So
abrasive.
our Shield 2.0 had like the 2.0 texture. In appendix carrying, you're right. Like I had to hit it with sandpaper, right? Because against your belly, it just hurt. This is like that perfect Goldilocks Mama Bear, like just right texture. So it's optimized again. You can mitigate recoil, but concealed carry wise, it's comfortable enough that you can run it all day appendix.
And then, does this come with a safety or no? Or
so
now, striker fired weapons, you don't need safeties if
right.
you're running it in a holster and you have good trigger discipline. You just don't. I am a 1911 guy, old school military style combat shooter.
Yep.
I like having frame mounted safeties.
So there is a version of this, yes, with a frame mounted safety.
Awesome. Okay, cool. All right. Next, we need to move on to the CSX, which I'm
so the dark horse.
Yep.
The dark horse kind of from us was the CSX. Not a lot of people saw this one coming from us.
No, I'm super stoked too.
So, looking at concealed carry as a problem set, right, or adding variety to the consumer, everyone has the polymer micro 9 market very saturated right now, but there's other ways of concealed carrying, right? So there's a lot of like single stack 9mm 1911-ish type.
I run a baby rock once in a while, and 70% night. But I'd rather have a single action 9mm that holds like 10 to 12 rounds.
And that's exactly what the CSX is. Fully ambidextrous, single action only. So ambi safety there, ambi slide release. For those, I think it's 17%. That's the statistic I've been rocking.
My buddy Izzy from Gameology.
You can take this out and put in the mirrored left-hand side.
Awesome.
One. So,
well, my sister and my dad are both left-handed as well. So like 50% of my
creative.
family. Yeah, very.
So 10+1 with the flush mount mag, and then there's a pinky extended one that gets you up to 12+1.
Nice.
So again, if I was to have to shoot a micro 9 all day long, that's it.
So can I hand this to you?
Absolutely.
So I was playing with this a little bit at the display yesterday, and safety's very positive. It could be a little more, but also it's perfectly fine the way it is.
Again, you're kind of walking that fine line of concealability versus functionality.
And if it's in a good holster and you have good trigger discipline, so it feels good. I like the grip angle. It presents nice. So, Glocks are wonderful, and they're one of the few pistols I trust right out of the box. I'm not a grip angle Glock fan, and every time I shoot a Glock,
I'm not either.
Time.
I feel like I'm doing like some sort of weird, too aggressive for. I'm not a Glock.
They're fine weapons. So are these, but just grip angle preference. I really like this grip angle. Now, it's aluminum body, right?
Correct.
Aluminum body and polymer inserts.
So it comes with two polymer inserts. This is like the standard size, and then if you're going like deep cover, there's like a minimalist one that fits on the back too.
Very cool. And what is in comparison to the regular shield or the original shield? As far as just a tiny bit
barrel
better?
length is about the same. It's 3.1 inch. If we grabbed the Shield Plus and held it next to it, you're again.
It's smaller and lighter.
So the CSX is honestly about as small of a handgun that I would want to go, personally. That's Corey's
Is it cool if I dry fire it?
Absolutely.
All right.
And if you notice, like as you rack that slide there, look at how low that height over bore axis is.
Yeah. Dude.
The recoil on this thing is so light and smooth. I could. It's
There's barely any movement for the reset. I can see shooting this very fast, very accurately.
And they break in so nice. Like about 150 rounds, like to break the gun in really efficiently. And it is just a sweet shooting. I can't wait to get my hands on one personally.
So everything is personal preference, of course. And the M&P 1.0 series is a great series and is a great introductory lineup to these guns. My buddy has one. I've shot it often. I'm not the biggest fan of it personally, just like I'm not the biggest fan of Glocks personally. I think they're great weapons, but the 2.0 series is absolutely wonderful. And I can't wait. I'm already a huge fan of this, so I can't wait to see. I'm probably going to pick one of these up. So I can't wait to see the second iteration of this. It's already got no optics cut yet. All right.
So what I've been saying, right? This is like the brand new category. This is a totally new gun, right? It's not a 1911. It's not a 2011. It's not. This is the CSX. This is at the very beginning of the runway. We still have a 10,000 foot stripper ahead of us. I would not be surprised if there's a whole family of stuff.
I'm still probably going to pick one up, even though there's no optics cut. I'm still probably. I'm going to get one of these for sure.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. Okay, so. I'm glad we got to talk about these. The triggers, honestly, these triggers are ridiculous for a factory striker-fired gun. Coming out now with optics cuts and higher suppressor-style sights. I think they're even just calling them tall sights now because so many people are running optics and no longer even referring to them as that. Okay, so my next big question for you.
Sure.
We only have 2 left. When are you guys going to start doing a specific parts company or parts division? Because I love my 5-inch 2.0, but I really like the extended slide lock on these.
Yeah. So 2022 is going to be a big year for Smith and Wesson. I would probably keep your eye on the horizon for 2022.
Okay, cool. And is it the more consumer base, the more customers that start harassing you guys in a very polite and respectful manner? Is it possible that might have an influence on it?
Again, we try to listen to our customers. I love actually getting the feedback, positive, negative. It's all good. It's nice to have the dialogue with customers.
Gotcha.
Right? So
there's also like logistics and supply issues.
Exactly.
And
so taking that
big move soon here.
I actually just sold my house. And,
congratulations.
And I'm packing up my family, and we're heading to Tennessee in like June.
We're gonna be like short distance neighbors.
I'd say Tennessee is beautiful. We went and visited. I'm super excited to move down there.
I got some good friends out there, and I'm stoked too.
So besides my personal logistics, the company logistics, so setting up like that parts. So something's in work. Keep your eye out 2022. But yes, that is some of the feedback we've received, and we are processing it. We want to keep our customers happy. So
awesome. Yeah, because it's like only if you're a muscle car guy, if you have a Chevy with a 350, you can build your motor cheap and anything you want. If you're a Glock guy, but I've become an M&P guy. So there's stuff out there. There's more and more stuff every day out there.
And so thinking like you were talking like firearms, like grip angle and stuff, right? Firearms it's a choice, it's a preference. I kind of relate it to running shoes, right? So there are people that accessorize the heck out of their running gear and everything. Like I wear different stuff. Like running shoes fit me differently. The M&P fits my hand and preference shooting. Like we like that, and we want to obviously keep our consumer base loyal and happy. But the biggest thing is accessorizing, and that's some of the stuff that people have been talking to us about. We've heard it, we processed it, we're actively working on it now. So.
Oh, 2 things real quick. So I want to talk about your rifles just very briefly. We're going to finish up this video, but the Easy line. I'm a huge fan of the Easy line for new shooters, and it's great for long-time shooters, but I teach a lot of beginning shooters, and
so it's funny that you bring up the Easy line, right? Because a lot of people and I'm guilty of it myself, right? The tactical Tommies, hey, I like to run my stuff suppressed, and why are you doing this grip angle, like the grip safety and all this? This isn't for tactical Tommies. We're not low crawling to the range. I'm not skydiving into the scuba tank to then scuba to this isn't that gun, right?
Right.
This gun is my mother, who has weaker hand strength, she can load a full mag. She can actually shoot the
rack the slide. That's the I like all the safety features, but easy to rack the slide. That's
you're an instructor, right?
Feature. Yeah.
How many? I've had big dudes in my pistol class not be able.
But it's mostly a female thing. It's mostly a female thing that maybe doesn't lift weights, and some men of small stature, but it's fine.
It is an awkward movement, right?
Yeah.
Push forward, pull, lift up with your thumb. This is the best training. For NRA pistol training, this is my go-to gun. And now in 30 Super Carry, you go from 8 rounds to 10 rounds in the single stack. This is the gun.
Awesome. All right, thank you so much for showing us that. If you could just show us one rifle real quick and just briefly talk about your rifle line.
Yeah, so we were talking about moving to Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
We released the Volunteer series.
Okay.
So this is the Volunteer XB. There we are.
I love the name.
So this is the Pro series, right? So
Okay.
right out of the bat, we come up with the Stop Mod stock from B5 pistol grip. This is our mil-spec flat face trigger. Radian. Radian
All good.
ambidextrous.
I called Kelvin and Hobbes Cannibal and Hobbes for like 6 months when I was a kid. Nobody corrected me.
I'm like on no sleep right now, so I'm
It's
subconsciously
the SHOT
thinking
Show
of
way.
Ambien. But the ambidextrous Radian Raptor charging handle there. Metal flip-up sights, and then this
So
right
it comes with backup sights.
It comes with these metal flip-up backup sights.
Awesome.
And then it comes with this PWS muzzle brake, which is like an absolute game changer.
I have the can opener.
It's,
Yeah, I have
when
one
you
of
run
these
this
on my
thing, I
HMR.
felt like Jerry Mitchell running this thing. It just sits. Like there's no muzzle rise, no flip, no torque. It just sits. Like you could run it like single-handedly, and it's not going.
Now,
anywhere.
how is it for
sits.
your buddy standing next to you at the range?
Yeah, I never really cared about the buddy. So yeah, there is a loud bark and quite a kick, but
very controllable.
absolutely.
Very controllable. Yeah, I tell the AR-15 is the perfect family rifle.
Yep.
Do you want to teach your kid how to shoot on your grandpa's old 30-06 where he's like holding it out here and tons of recoil? Where this anybody can shoot this.
It's funny you say that. Our
Yeah.
CFO, because we're all from Mass or Connecticut, right? So her daughter came to our range day, and she had a 15-22, but that's the only rifle she's ever had. So she was kind of nervous.
Those are great training rifles. They're M&P
Fantastic.
series and 22 long rifle.
But this definitely has a louder bark. So she was a little nervous about shooting it. So we had these like little targets from Throom. They make polymer targets that you can shoot like at an indoor range. You don't have to worry about ricochets. These little gongs, and they were like swinging from a string. So I got her up to the line, gave her a full mag. She ran this thing like John Wick. Like she had them swinging, but she was then hitting them while they were swinging. Like it was her first time
She's
shooting.
not old enough yet to watch the
And
movie,
AR,
but yet she's still...
She ran
Yeah.
it so good. So to your point, like, yes, this is a phenomenal rifle. Training wise, anyone can start on this. This is just an awesome. This is the rifle. If they let Corey loose in the factory and said, "Make your AR," this would be the one that.
So is this your top tier AR then?
So
or?
this is the mid tier. This is like the top of the mid tier.
Gotcha. So as far as like plinking, duty use, or war use, and those are war use. You got to deal with Joe dropping it numerous times,
Yeah.
and
I would run this as my 3-gun.
Okay, awesome.
So
competition.
I would abuse the snot out of this, and it would hold up just fine.
Gotcha. All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the
Dude, it was
time
an
and showing
absolute
us.
pleasure meeting you.
Awesome.
And, it was fun talking guns with you.
Likewise. All right. Thanks, folks.